this video we will create a Star Wars hyperspace environment. In the intro you saw the Millennium Falcon entering hyperspace. A hyperspace is just a long tunnel, and in this video we will build the tunnel using a cylinder and an animated texture for the movement effect. My first try was a cylinder without a floor and a lid. I assigned this material to the object. From the texture coordinate node I used the generated coordinate and plugged it into a mapping node. In the mapping node I animated the x-axis for the movement effect. Next I added a noise texture with a scale of 5, detail 4, roughness 0.339 and linearity of 2.3. The vector leads into a color ramp. Of course you can use your own color set. I used the first slider at position 0.328 and a color hex value 27283F FF. The second slider has the position 0.504 and a color value of 302D6C FF, and the last slider at 0.859 with a color value of 979C C6 FF. When we start the animation, it looks cool. Maybe we need to tweak the speed of the animation. If we want to use this setup in a scene, we need to extend the cylinder insanely long to keep up with the infinite tunnel effect. Therefore I started a second attempt and scaled the end of the cylinder to fake the length. When we start the animation once again, you see the disadvantage of the method. The clouds transform on their way to the front, because they are also moving on the z-axis due to the scaling at the end. This effect looks strange and it isn't convincing for the movement. The next attempt was the usage of the UVs instead of generated coordinates. The transformation effect of the cloud is gone, but there is a new problem. There is a visible seam at the line where the UV projection ends. So we need a way to make the procedural texture seamless. I found a YouTube channel, Zach Mercury's, and one of his last videos shows a solution. I link the video and the channel in the info card. In his solution he used the circle function. F of t equals radius times cosine of t and radius times sine of t. We multiply each UV coordinates with 2 times pi, so when we move from 0 to 1 we perform a complete cycle. I copied the shader, and for demonstration I added these tiles, and as you can see the texture is seamless when you move from one tile to another. The node graph is down below. We start from the mapping node into the separator XYZ. We multiply the x and y with 2 times pi. You can type 2 times pi in the value and get the result of 6.283. We calculate the cosine and sine and multiply both results with a radius. We use the result for the x and y inputs for the combined XYZ. We do the same for the y of the UV, and then we have a problem. The first output goes into the z input of the combine node. For the second output we need to set the noise texture to 40 to get the randomized value W for the fourth input. With the radius we can scale the texture the same way like the scale value in the noise texture. I applied the shader to our cylinder, and when you animated the y coordinates we get our hyperspace effect. At the end of the cylinder I placed a plane with a spherical gradient texture. I moved the origin of the UVs to the center with minus 0.5 on x and y. In the color ramp I used the same dark color as in the tunnel and the default white. The color goes into the emission shader with a strength of 10. In combination with the compositing and the bloom glare node, it makes the light more pop at the end. That's all for our hyperspace tunnel, and I see you in the next video.